Welcome to Leatherneck Insider, the first episode of the year. I'm Austin Holznagel.
And I'm Peyton Hutchins. Over the summer, Western Illinois held a press conference to announce the school will be moving from the Missouri Valley and Summit League into the Ohio Valley Conference. Austin has more on the story.
On May 18th, right inside these doors behind me at Western Hall, Director of Athletics Paul Bubb took the podium to announce Western Illinois' move to the OVC. Bubb was joined by OVC Commissioner Beth DeBush and President of WIU Guiyu Huang, and was more than excited to be making this announcement. Bubb addressed the media and said that he has had a plan since he first took office and is ready to get that going.
When I accepted this position and spoke here in this very room, June 22nd, I outlined two key items I wanted to accomplish as soon as possible. The first was a strategic plan for our athletic program, and the second was an athletic facilities master plan. We are completing our strategic plan right now. This plan will provide the roadmap for our athletic program moving forward, not only for the next 5 years, but for the next 10 to 15 to 20 years. Our strategic plan has been completed while keeping in mind the university's own strategic plan and allowing us to focus on what matters most: achievement, both academically and competitively.
Bubb announced there were several factors prompting the Leatherneck's move to the OVC, one of those being the addition of 3 new women's sports teams next season.
There were several key items which came up during this process, and one being conference affiliation. I will get back to that in just a moment. Another key issue going into the planning process, which was being worked on prior to the committee being formed, was the plan to add 3 new women's sports. The addition of these sports will bring us into compliance with Title IX, which is just celebrating its 50th anniversary. Beginning in the fall of 2024, Western Illinois University plans to begin competition in beach volleyball, bowling, and stunt. While beach volleyball is a championship sport offered by the Ohio Valley Conference, we will look at competition as an independent or affiliate member for bowling and stunt.
Commissioner DeBush echoed Director Paul Bubb's excitement to joining the new conference and said that Western's move will be beneficial and make sense to both sides as it continues.
And there were so many reasons why it seemed to make sense. The more we talked, the more apparent it became. There are similarities such in mission, vision, values, budget, size, communities, all of which align so very well.
President Huang was last to address the media, but said what I think we were all thinking as fans and members of the WIU family.
We want to win. Everybody is willing and happy to associate with a winner. We are a winner. I think we can be a bigger winner switching to Ohio Valley. I know we're just talking about the challenges. You have your challenges as a coach, as a player, as a staff, as a director. I have mine. The university has challenges. But none of those challenges should and will stop us from pursuing higher goals, pursuing greater wins for the university, for your team, right? Good to hear that there are 19 sports available in OVC. Now we are going to approach 20, actually, right? We are going to have 20 on this campus. And that also injects a lot of enthusiasm and energy into our sports.
Western Illinois is hoping that this will be a win for the university and for the sports and athletes who play here. Most sports have already made the change to the OVC, except for football and men's soccer that will make that move next season. I'm really excited to see what games are to come, and for Leatherneck Insider, I'm Austin Holznagel.
Thanks, Austin. Conference play is just beginning for multiple sports here at WIU. Be on the lookout for exciting games to come.
Although most sports have already made the switch to the OVC, men's soccer is staying with the Summit League for one more year. Leatherneck Insider reporter Abdoulaye Doucouré has more on that.
Thank you, Peyton and Austin. Finally, the soccer season is back. And the Leatherneck finished the last season with a 2-8-7 overall and a 2-3-3 in their conference. The Leatherneck are looking into building on their momentum.
Maybe too competitive. Sometimes we have some heavy tackles because they're competitive, but they've gotten better as a team. 15 new guys is a lot, and the game requires, thinking the same thoughts at the same time.
As of now, Western has some unfortunate luck in the 2023 season after losing 3 away games and taking a draw against Lindenwood to get their first point of the season. The Leatherneck 2 top player returned for the 5th year. We have Kyle Owen and Caleb Ragland. The Leatherneck still have a chance to get their first goal of the season in the coming up match against Southern Illinois University. Reporting from Leatherneck Insider, I am Abdullahi Dukure.
Thank you, Abdullahi. The Leathernecks take on Eastern Illinois today at 1 p.m. at John Alumni Mackenzie Field.
The WIU men's basketball team has a lot of new faces, and their coaching staff has a lot of success in their careers. I have the pleasure of seeing this staff each and every day, but Leatherneck Insider reporter Ben Polanca has more on the changes to the staff.
The Western Illinois men's basketball had a lot of changes in the coaching staff as head coach Rob Jeter signed a new deal with Southern Utah. Chad Boudreau would then get a call as the Leatherneck's newest head coach. Here's what Coach Boudreau thinks on his promotion.
I'm thankful for the opportunity. It's a great opportunity to be coaching here, and for me, it's close to home. I grew up 72 miles straight west of here in southeast Iowa, and so it's good for family, friends, and all that can come. The other thing is it's exciting because I get to build and continue the growth that we started here a couple years ago. Like, our trajectory is up, and we want to continue that trend, and we want to keep building on it, and we want to look to have a successful first season in the OVC.
Kyle Heikkinen also gets a promotion as an assistant head coach. He's been with the team as the assistant coach for the past 4 seasons. Here's what Coach Heikkinen has to say about his new role.
It's a role that I was in previously with Chad at Highland. So we came over together from Highland Community College. So I'm comfortable with Chad at the helm, something that we've worked through in the past. As far as the impact, I'm going to have more of a fingerprint and a footprint on the defensive side of the ball, as opposed to last year having to work on the offense with Coach Boudreau. I'm going over the defensive side and kind of heading that up with the other 2 assistant coaches, Chris Hill and John Clancy. So I'm excited about that opportunity.
The Leathernecks also added a new face to the coaching staff, Chris Hill, who played for head coach Chad Boudreau, while Boudreau was an assistant coach at Wisconsin-Milwaukee during the 2005-2006 season. Coach Hill explains how the relationship with Boudreau will help him as an assistant coach.
Well, I think, he obviously, he's been a mentor of mine. So I played for him my last year in 2006. We went to the NCAA tournament. We beat Oklahoma and then lost to Florida. So he's my assistant coach. I think, by being my first year here and then with all the history we have, I think it's going to be an easier transition for me. And I think he's going to put a lot of trust in me.
A familiar face returns to the team, Colton Santich, who played for Western for 2 seasons. Santich explains on why he decided to return to Western.
Well, I had a great relationship with Coach Boudreau before, and when I knew he got the head job, I thought that would be the man I'd want to start with to start my coaching career, and also I started to help build this program, and I'd like to be here when it gets to the top.
For the Leatherneck Insider, I'm Ben Polanca.
Thank you, Ben. Men's basketball tips off their season at the University of San Antonio on November 6th at 7 p.m.
This year's first Athlete of the Week is here. After a great start to her season, Kennedy Bauer is your Leatherneck Insider Athlete of the Week. I had the opportunity to talk with Kennedy about her performance on the court. Welcome to Leatherneck Insider's Athlete of the Week with this week's winner, Kennedy Bauer. Kennedy, congratulations on winning this award and having a great start to your season.
Thank you.
Your team is coming off back-to-back wins and starting conference play 1-0. What are you most looking forward to as the season continues?
I think changing into this conference was big, and I think that's exciting for this team because I really believe that with our newcomers coming in and the new group we have all together, I think this team is going to be a really big threat to the other components, and I feel like we're going to bring out a lot of wins for Western.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be rooting for you guys. And even though this is only your second year, you're the only senior on this team, and it is your final season. What are you most looking forward to in your final run here at Western? And do you feel like you've kind of stepped into a leadership role on the team?
I do. I feel like I become very vocal for this team, and I'm able to be there for. We have a lot of freshmen coming in, so I feel like I'm there to support and kind of guide them the way they should go for this season and for their upcoming future events. But I also am excited because we also have a grad student on our team who happened to be a former teammate of mine at my last school at Lincolnland, so that's kind of cool that we get to finish off together again as well.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's always fun playing with people you know the best. Mm-hmm. And the people agree. You had a great week last week, 25 kills and 20 digs. Tell me about the great start to your season, and what are some of the highlights for you?
I would have to say one of the highlights is obviously winning back-to-back. That was big for us and for this program. I feel like it opened a lot of people's eyes that we are turning this program around, and we're going to bring more wins into Western Illinois. And I feel like it's very exciting that whoever is going off the bench and into the game is really contributing to our wins, and it's really showing how much team effort this is bringing, and we're really trying to make this the tradition here is we're going to keep bringing wins.
Yeah, I hope there's more to come. We're definitely, like I said, going to be rooting for you guys. But thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to do this interview. This has been Leatherneck Insider's Athlete of the Week with this week's winner, Kennedy Bauer. Back to you guys at the desk.
When we jump back, we send it over to the countryside as the WIU cross-country team has kicked off their season. Don't go anywhere.
Not W? It's not W, it's W. 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 That's what I've been stressing out about the most so far. It's saying W because I know it's something you're going to say there. Yeah, we've been there.
They're like, we're waiting on, what are we waiting on? They haven't said it. I thought we're ready to go, we can start.
Hello everyone, I am Will Thomas.
And I'm Dane Mackley. Welcome to this week's edition of Leatherneck Insider.
Welcome back inside. The Leatherneck cross-country teams made their debut to the track on September 1st to kick off their official fall 2023 season. Leatherneck Insider reporter Aiden Wilczewski has the scoop.
Well, fall 2023 has officially kicked off, which means it's time for WIU sports to keep their eyes out for new talent. WIU cross-country assistant head coach Stephanie Brokaw was able to shed some light on the recruiting process so far this semester.
We had 27 student athletes on the team, and now we have 80. So Coach Trey and Coach Rob are incredible recruiters. That's why they were hired here at Western. And so they've just been going to work, finding good student athletes. But really, even the most important part for us is that they're good people. So it's just been grinding and taking it one day at a time, getting to know the prospective student athletes and getting them here on campus and signing the papers.
Nice, awesome. Assistant Coach Brokaw was also able to tell Kobe and I about who we should be on the lookout for this semester.
It's really exciting because here at Western, each event group really has a student athlete to watch that could take down school records. On the distance, we have Logan Lomo. He already has 6 school records here at Western, so he's looking to add a couple more at the indoor season. We have Ilana Caesar. She's a Brazilian national champion in the steeplechase. And then when you get to the jumps, Toriano Tate was Male Athlete of the Year last year. He's playing football right now, so we'll look forward to having him back in the indoor season. And then Arnie Grunart, who, you know, he broke the school record in the pole vault last year, and he'll be looking to hit a national qualifying mark this indoor season. So those are just a few. There's so many more, especially with all the newcomers, so you guys will just have to keep your eyes peeled.
The Leathernecks are hitting the road this Friday, September 15th to Bloomington, where they will be competing against Illinois State University Redbirds. Leathernecks have gracefully accepted the ISU cross-country Redbird invite, and Coach Brokaw was able to break down their strategy for their athletes to earn points and bring back some wins.
Yeah, so our first home meet went really well. We competed the women in a 4K and the men in a 6K. Our normal distances are women run a 6K and men run an 8K. So we're looking forward to Illinois State because we will be running that full distance. And also the women's team is going to get a huge boost, and we held out Ilena Caesar and Malia Houston in the first home meet just to keep their season, keep them healthy. So they'll enter into the field and we'll get a huge boost on the women's side. But we're looking forward to the men also being able to compete at their full distance and really test all those miles and all the endurance that they've gained over this summer. We're also going to be competing against Eastern Illinois, so it'll be our first OVC head-to-head competition. So we're looking forward to see where we stack up against them so that we can go back to Macomb, come back here, and get back to work on the little things that we need to work on, whether that's getting out fast or finishing hard.
We will certainly be cheering on our tough Leathernecks from home. Hope they can bring back some victories to Macomb after this weekend. Until next time, reporting for Leatherneck Insider, I'm Aiden Wilczewski.
Thank you, Aiden. The Necks are back in action on Friday, September 29th at the Gans Creek Classic in Columbia, Missouri.
The football team was in action last Saturday against in-state rival Illinois State. We picked it up with 4:24 left in the first quarter as Illinois State running back Cole Mueller takes the handoff and thinks he's got open space, but Missouri Valley Conference tackle leader Braden Smith forces the turnover right there. Smith would finish the game with 14 total tackles, with 11 of them being solo, which breaks his previous career high from a week ago.
We now pick it up in the second quarter as Matt Morrissey finds Taj Sanders in the end zone for a touchdown to go up 6-0 on the Redbirds. Taj Sanders would finish the day with 2 catches for 13 yards, but late in the second quarter, Redbird running back Mason Blakemore down the right side for a touchdown. Blakemore would have a huge day for the Redbirds as he would finish with 19 carries for 170 yards. Illinois State would rush for 276 yards as a team.
Quarterback Zach Anderstead would find tight end Cam Grandy for a 12-yard strike with 39 seconds left in the first half. On the first play of the fourth quarter, Matt Morrissey would find the end zone which cut the Redbird lead to 20-15. The dagger would be when Blakemore once again would bounce it outside to make it a 26-18 game. The final score was 34-18 in favor of the Redbirds. Austin, with the chance for Western Illinois to pick up their first win of the year this week against future OVC opponent Lindenwood, what must they do?
I think they got to protect Matt Morrissey. He had a great game for the Leathernecks. And I think if they're able to protect him, they can put up a lot more points on offense and compete with a high-scoring Lindenwood team.
You know, football starts in the trenches, and obviously offensive line and defensive line was a big problem for Western Illinois on last Saturday. I think they needed to protect Morrissey well, and they needed to cover up those smaller gaps on the defensive side of the ball to have a chance to win on Saturday.
Well, we'll see. But the WIU volleyball team went 2-1 in the Cougar Classic last weekend, beating Idaho in 4 sets and beating conference opponent Southern Illinois University Edwardsville in 5 sets. Kiana Cruz led the way, being named the Ohio Valley Conference Offensive Player of the Week. This is the first time a WIU player has won Offensive Player of the Week since 2017. Cruz had 64 kills, 10 blocks, 0 reception errors, and 70 points for the Leathernecks. Congratulations, Kiana. When we return from break, we check in on Macomb High Sports. Stay tuned.
Your vision.
My goal is to work at a top 100 television station as a reporter, anchor, and a producer.
Our mission.
Thanks to Western, I have a resume that would beat out most students from the top journalism schools in the country.
This is Western Illinois University.
I am a success story. I am a Leatherneck.
We welcome you back inside Sully Hall. The Macomb High cross country team had a meet this week in Rushville. The boys team finished in second place out of 15 competing schools. Nolan Terraz finished in first place, followed by J-Ron Royer, who finished in third. Over on the girls' side, the team placed 12th out of 17 teams. Abigail Clausen led the way for the Lady Bombers, finishing in 57th, with Sophia Cardins-Roman right behind her in 58th.
Heading over to the golf course, the Lady Bombers had 2 meets at Gold Hills last week. The Bombers finished in first in meet number 1 of the week, shooting a 197 as a team. Taryn Ritchie was a co-medalist, leading the way for the Bombers, shooting a 43, followed by Josie Calvert, who shot a career-low 44. In meet 2, the Bombers finished third with a score of 191. Mullen Butcher led the way for the Bombers, shooting a career-low 46. Taryn Ritchie was right behind her with a score of 47. The boys' team had a meet as well against Quincy last weekend and tied 177 to 177, but unfortunately lost the tiebreaker. Brady Scalf led the way for the boys' team, shooting a 42, followed by Nick Parkins, who shot a 43.
The Macomb High volleyball team is coming off of back-to-back losses, dropping their record to 10-3. The Bombers had a doubleheader last Saturday and lost both to Orion and Taylorville 2-1. The Bombers will look to dip back into the win column as they jump into conference play on Tuesday against Illini West and Thursday against Lewistown. The Bombers have not lost a regular season conference game since the 2020-2021 season. They currently lead the Prairieland Conference with a record of 2-0. The Bombers will look to continue to keep that streak going this week. Good luck, ladies.
Leatherneck Insider would like to give our condolences to the Cromer family, Macomb High football, and the city of Macomb for the recent passing of a freshman football player. Our heart hurts for this devastating loss in the Macomb community.
Western Illinois University. Our beginnings in 1902 focused on providing affordable teacher education training. We've changed with the times and excelled through the years. Today, Western is positioned for the next 100 years and beyond. Affordability of diverse academic programs, outstanding learning opportunities, and hands-on experiences provide excellent job placement for our graduates. This is Western, forever Western.
This show begins to wind down. The NFL season is just beginning to ramp up as the first week of football is officially behind us. We now send it over to Leatherneck Insider reporter Luke Little, who joins us in the studio to give us an NFL recap. Take it away, Luke.
Well, guys, week 1 of the NFL is officially over with, and I, for one, I'm so excited that football is back. We had everything from blowouts to some close upsets and even some critical injuries in week 1. And we might as well start from the beginning, and I don't mean all the way back in the beginning, but the first game of 2023 and 24. The Detroit Lions versus the Kansas City Chiefs on Thursday Night Football. Not only did the Lions upset the Super Bowl champions in Kansas City, but they did it on national television with around 30 million viewers, the most views for a season kickoff game since 2015 with the matchup between the Patriots and the Steelers. Now, this was a close match throughout the whole game, coming down to the very last minute. But not every game was this competitive. Some teams proved why they should be on the lookout for a deep playoff run this year. Teams like the San Francisco 49ers and Dallas Cowboys put on dominating performances, only allowing 7 points total between both teams. Now, as I mentioned before, there were some crucial injuries in week 1, but none more impactful than on Monday Night Football with the matchup between the New York Jets and the Buffalo Bills. Aaron Rodgers, the one-time champion and 4-time MVP, took the field in a Jets uniform for the first time. And on the 4th play of the game, he went down with an Achilles tendon tear. The season-ending injury begs some questions. What happens now? Do the Jets find a new quarterback? Do they stick with Zach Wilson? And what about Rodgers? Does he finally retire after his 18-year career? Look, these are all questions that I cannot wait to find the answers to, but for now, we'll just have to wait and see what excitement this NFL season holds. What about you guys? What was your favorite moment from week 1?
I mean, I think mine is pretty obvious. As someone who is a giant Packers fan, I loved seeing them beat up on the Bears once again. 9 straight times. I don't think it gets better than that.
You know, as a Bears fan myself, week 1 was not the greatest. But my favorite moment from week 1 honestly was the Jets versus Bills game. You know, not because of the injury, but because the game was actually, I mean, a lot of turnovers, a lot of stuff like that. But you know, we saw a great overtime game, and that's I think that was the only game in overtime week 1. So that would be my favorite moment from the NFL season. Well, next up is the newest episode of my segment, which is Schoolboy Sports. I had the chance to watch and talk with women's soccer goalie Isabel Navas Rodriguez this week. Welcome back to another year of Leatherneck Insider. First off, I'm going to start this year with senior goalkeeper Isabel Navas Rodriguez. Isabel, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. So, Isabel, obviously it's your senior year. How has senior year been going so far, season-wise for you?
Well, I feel like this year so far has been really good. I think like we have shown up, the team has shown up, and like we got some results against really good teams.
And you've been named OVC goalkeeper or cold goalkeeper of the week twice. What does that mean to you?
Well, that means that all the hard work that we're putting every single day on the field and on the weight room like has its profit. So everything that you work for is gonna come back.
And so, with you having multiple shutouts, is there anything special you've done to kind of prepare for these moments?
Well, what I said, pretty much just show up and like do extra work with the coaches, film sessions, everything that you can to put for the team. Like that's what I do, and just work hard every single day.
And what's your most memorable moment been here at Western Illinois in your time here?
Well, there's have been like several, but I would say that getting goalkeeper of the week twice in a row, it's a really good accolade, and it's good that finally goalkeepers are getting the like the image that they deserve, because sometimes we feel very like forgotten, and it's good to have that accolade showing up.
And there you have it, goalkeepers getting recognition. Thank you, Isabel, and I'll see you guys next week on another episode of Schoolboy Sports.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's episode, but we will see you all next week. Don't forget to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at InsiderWIU. From Leatherneck Insider, I'm Austin Holznagel.
And I'm Peyton Hutchins. Have a great afternoon, Leatherneck Nation.